All right, so we're back again. A little bit more Welcome to Rum.
Yep.
We've been to Cuba, Martinique, Jamaica.
And now we're in Puyallup.
Yes, we are. We're in Puyallup at the home bar of the Fosnicks. The title of your home bar is?
Fosnick's Tiki Cove.
All right, then. So we're in Fosnick's Tiki Cove. It's a place of rest and relaxation. We're going to take a look at some rums from Barbados and one rum from Panama. But we're not so much going into that as the fact that we wanted to explore the Kaniche Rums. And the Kaniche Rums, we spotted them in the store at one point. We were curious, so bought some, tried it, liked it, started comparing it to some other Barbados rums, did a little research and found out that Konichi is actually a partnership between Maison Ferrand, the people who put out plantation rums, and Total Wine and More. So price points are a little bit nicer than comparable rums, and we've been really impressed with them so far.
Yeah, and actually they're starting to become some of my favorite rums to drink.
So today we're going to start off with the Kaniche Reserve, then we're going to move to the Kaniche XO, and then finally we'll finish up at the Kaniche Perfeccion.
I'm glad you said it and not me.
So pretty much price point, they're starting with the Reserve, then the XO, then the Perfeccion, stepping up about, what, 10, 15 bucks each one from there?
Yeah, they're not very expensive at all.
And this guy right here, the Reserve, starts out typically right around $20 before we get to the Washington State extortions and such. So it would be a very reasonably priced bottle if we lived anyplace else. And if you have a Total Wine & More near you and you don't live in Washington, you'll probably get a really good deal on it.
So this is we're going to start with the lowest end.
Right, the lowest end, the Reserve, which to me is it's more of a mixing rum, but it's not a bad rum at all. And I think it's pretty favorable next to something that I really do enjoy, the Plantation 5-Year Barbados.
All right, cool.
But they're put out by the same company, which Plantation Rum of Maison Ferrand. They don't distill rum so much as they take batches of rum and they blend them for a particular qualities that they're looking for, and they age them. So these rums start out being aged in their home area in, I believe, I think it's bourbon casks to start with. And then they get shipped over to France, to Maison Ferrand headquarters in Cognac, and they end up in Cognac barrels, and then they're aged a second time. So starting off with the Reserve, which is the least aged one. That'll be the one to your right.
So Julie, this is you're kind of new to the whole world of rum, right?
Yes.
I know you're mostly into wine.
I've been on a wine journey for about 2 years with my friend Maggie, and I'm kind of approaching it the same way. I want to learn about where it comes from, what makes it different. I can tell already colors are different, so I'm excited.
Right, which the products of Maison Ferrand are really good for that because they're big on the terroir, the environment that they come from, the soil, the water, the particular sugar canes and how they grow in that climate. So yeah, they definitely have a wine and cognac maker's eye for the details on that.
Cool.
And I think what's important too, like when it gets to rum and making tiki cocktails, is that there was a point in time where I thought like, oh well, the syrups really make the drink. Well, there was a point in time where I thought like, oh well, the rums really can alter how a drink tastes. And I've come to the conclusion now that it's actually everything.
Yes.
It's literally every part of that drink. So if you're dealing with a cocktail that has 5 to 11 ingredients, every one of those ingredients is going to make a difference.
Everyone has a part to play, right down to the ice.
And here's the thing, what you're going to notice, like this is the same company, but all three of these rums are going to be pretty different. And imagine, and then just think about that when you make your next cocktail. It's like, okay, well, you changing out one rum is going to taste how that tastes.
And also,
so here's the bare bones of it.
And as we're moving from one to the next, there's a difference in the aging. That's one of the major differences.
Okay.
So we'll start off with the Reserve, which is the lightest aged one. So welcome to rum.
So what do you think of it?
So you notice it's got a little alcohol burn on the back end, so it's not as smooth as some others. Now, Barbados rums are known for being full-bodied and very aromatic, but tend to be more mellow. They fall somewhere between rums of say, Jamaica and rums of Martinique. But they tend to be a little bit, to me, more complex and flavorful than rums of Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands. like Cruzon's a Virgin Island rum that you're probably somewhat familiar with, and Bacardi is probably the most common Puerto Rican rum.
Right.
So what do you think of this one?
It's nice. It's not as bold as I thought it was going to be. I mean, all hard shots burned my mouth a little bit, but this wasn't as bad as I thought. It's nice.
So from wine tasting, you hear all different flavors that you might catch. So what sort of things are you catching on this one?
Once the burn is gone, a little of vanilla, little, kind of seems to mellow it a little bit.
Yeah, I taste playful flavored notes of fresh vanilla and spice. Now, one thing I'll say about this rum is that, I mean, I'm drinking it straight right now, and it's okay. But this is definitely not. I don't think this is. You could sip it if you want to, but I wouldn't grab this one to sip. No. I definitely think this would be a rum that you would use in a cocktail.
No, once we've gone
This
through
is
the
a working
tastings,
rum.
Once we've gone through the tastings, what I'm going to do is try to put together a couple of cocktails using. We're not going to do a cocktail with the Perfeccion because I'd feel bad about that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to try to do a cocktail with the Reserve and with the XO and see how they mix into something. So next up is going to be our Kaniche XO. Slightly more aged on that. It's a blend of Barbados aged rum distilled in column. Oh, these are blended rums. I forgot to mention that before. So one thing that Barbados was known for is that, much like Jamaica, they did pot still rums much later. Even though they had a fairly reasonable introduction to column still, like a pot still is kind of like a big kettle. And a column still can be 30 or 50 feet tall, and it's got multiple stages in it, and it's known for continuous distilling. So it's better for production rather than doing in batches.
Got it.
But generally speaking, pot still tend to be fuller and more flavorful. Column still tend to be mellower. But Barbados is known for blending the two, usually more pot still than column still, to keep it, kind of a full-bodied rum.
Okay.
So anyway, the XO is distilled in column pot stills, rich and lush with depth of aged rum, and finished for 18 months in cognac casks to bring out flavors of coconut, spices, and butterscotch aromas. It's a double gold medal San Francisco Spirits Competition winner.
Let's try it.
Well, it smells different too.
And immediately you catch it's a lot more mellow. There's almost no burn on the back of it at all.
Way different.
That's definitely a sipper. I bought a bottle of this. I've been drinking it at home just straight.
Wow.
What do you think of this one, Julie?
I like it.
Which one do you like better, this one or the first one?
This one.
Why do you like this one better?
I don't know. It seems more complex. There's more. I can't identify, but there's more going on in there at the beginning, not just at the end.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It just seems to me the first one just tastes like alcohol. Where there's definitely, complex is the right word, I would say, too.
So both of these are aged first in Barbados, and Barbados, because of the heat and the moisture, it tends to age faster there than it would in Europe. And then Maison Ferrand is known for their cellars trying to keep them at a temperature and moisture level to mimic where they came from. So trying to continue aging at a similar rate. So the difference in aging between these two, once they make it to France, is only about 6 months. But the blending and how long it's aged before it gets there is different. All right, we're ready to move on to the top of the Konichi line.
Yeah.
Ready.
So this
Beautiful.
is the Perfeccion, which is actually from Panama, and it's, to the best of my knowledge, this is the only Panamanian rum I've ever tried. But it starts out life in Panama. It gets distilled there, it gets aged there, then it goes back over to Cognac, France, to Maison Ferrand.
Double wood.
The double wood designation is that it's aged in different types of wood.
Okay.
So usually
Oh, I thought that meant they were talking about the box it comes in.
Now we'll go ahead and try this Perfeccion.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. I've never had this before. That's good. That's real good. That's smooth.
Very smooth.
It's unbelievably. It's like I thought this one was smooth. This one's even
I
smoother.
didn't think rum could taste like this.
Do you like it?
It's
This is really good.
It's extremely mellow, and then you're thinking, isn't there more to it? Then you slowly start getting more flavors out of it. So it's much like wine tasting. You got to kind of let it roll over the palate. And I like having the wider shot glass, or a larger like a rocks type glass, to get that scent of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, people out there, if you go to a Total Wine & More, you can't go wrong with any of these, and I highly recommend picking one of these bottles up.
And I wouldn't add anything to the Perfeccion. I would drink that straight. If you wanna add one large ice cube and give it a swirl, have at it. But other than that, I don't think I would change anything about it. The XO, I want to try incorporating that in a cocktail just to see what I can do.
Yeah. So what do you think? And what do you want to make us, Jason?
There's a drink that Jason Alexander of the Devil's Reef came up with called a South Sea Sleepwalker that normally would use Plantation 5-year Barbados.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's what I might want to do with the XO. Or there's another drink called an Outrigger. It's a coupe drink with lemon juice in it. So I'm trying to decide between those two.
How about both? Hey gang, we'll get back to the Tiki conversation here in just a second, but I want to let y'all know they have t-shirts for sale. They are screen printed in America. The artist is Tony Canepa, and they're going for $20 a piece, $25 including shipping. If you're interested in buying one, go to my website, tikiwithray.com, and then there's a tab that says buy a t-shirt. Click on there and just follow the prompts. So thank you very much. So what do we got going on here? 2 drinks, Jason.
Yes. I decided on the 2 drinks that I wanted to use. I did a cocktail called the Outrigger using the Kaniche Reserve, and we're going to do a slightly different version of the South Sea Sleepwalker using the Konichi XO. So on the Outrigger, which is something that I got from Beach Bum Berries Remixed, that's 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of triple sec, and 1.5 ounces of Barbados rum. So that's normally it'd be served in a coupe. So what I did is I made us some smaller versions because we're sampling here. And it's normally in a coupe glass with a little bit of lemon and sugar around the top.
All right, let's give this a shot.
So this is the one that you found especially harsh.
That's nice.
That is a good drink.
But that harsh rum, if you add a little bit of
nice.
sugar, a little bit of triple
I don't
sec,
even taste it.
and some lime juice,
I don't even taste it. I
that'll
don't
go
even taste
down
that rum
super
at all.
fast, won't it?
Yeah, it's very
With
refreshing.
these little glasses, the rum wheel's a little bit, or the lime wheel's just a little bit on the large side.
I really like that.
But that mixes up really quick too. So yeah, summer's coming around, so it's time for daiquiris and coupes served up.
Yeah, so definitely right off the bat, that would be a completely good rum to work and make
Exactly.
cocktails with.
Exactly, it's flavorful, but this kind of takes the alcohol burn off the back end of it.
What do you think? Do you think you'd have another one of these?
I'd have a couple more.
What's the next drink, Jason?
So, being as a Kaniche XO had a little more body and more flavor to it, I wanted to put it in something a little bit more challenging. One of my favorite drinks that Jason Alexander at the Devil's Reef does is a South Sea Sleepwalker, which you normally would use the Plantation Barbados 5-year in. And Julie, it would get Don's Mix number 2, which is normally 2 parts grapefruit to 1 part cinnamon syrup. But Julie has allergies with cinnamon, so I tried this using my ginger syrup instead.
Cool.
So 2 substitutions. We're using the Kaniche XO, and we're using a ginger syrup version of Don's Mix number 2.
All right, let's give it a shot.
You.
Give it a little stir first because he's had to sit on the table for just a moment. But before we sip these, the South Sea Sleepwalker is a dash of aromatic bitters, a dash of pimento dram, about 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 1/4 ounce of grenadine or pomegranate syrup, 1/2 ounce of honey mix, 3/4 of an ounce of Don's Mix, which the Don's Mix, already told you that part, 1 ounce of aged Jamaican rum, in this case I used Jamaica, and 1 ounce of moderately aged rum, and in this case I used the XO Konichi.
Let's try it.
Cheers to you guys. That's really,
Oh, that's a keeper.
it's really good.
I think I like it with the ginger syrup.
I like the ginger too.
Because the ginger adds a little zip. It's different than cinnamon, but I like
This
it.
tastes like a Jason Alexander drink. What do you think?
I think it's good.
Of course, if we were drinking it at the Devil's Reef, he'd have his house-made pimento dram in there.
I like the drink. I like the drink a lot, but I don't know if I could taste the Konichi at all.
I don't think it really shines.
And I really wonder if you use a different rum, how much it would affect the drink. If it would taste all that much different. It almost makes me feel like if you did if you used the Barbados Konichi, how much of a difference it would taste. But it's a great rum, and I honestly think that's the best out of all of them.
I will enjoy that Perfeccion, and I'll drink it, straight in a glass and enjoy it. But The XO I'm going to keep purchasing. That's gonna stay in my bar.
Well, Julie, thanks for having us over.
Thanks
So
for
you're-
inviting me to be a rum taster. I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Well, I hope you like these rums.
I do.
And
I do. I just, when I go to the store, I don't know that I see these gorgeous rums. There's the ones that everybody is used to seeing. So I think now I'm going to delve a little deeper.
Right, especially the larger stores like a Total Wine & More, you have to hunt for the
Right.
things you want to find because they are hidden amongst 4 shelves up and halfway down a row.
yeah. But there you go, friends and family at home. If you want to get a really, really good rum, you don't have to go to some specialty store. You just got to go to Total Wine & More.
But yeah, the first time we tried the Konichi, we'd never heard of it, and we just at the store saw it. That looked interesting. Well, it was a decent price point. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Now we're fans.
Yes, indeed.
So let's try this. Let's try the highest end rum that they got here. No, that didn't come out good.
Well, let's see how they can do with this, because
So let's try this. Let's try their bestest rum.
we've already
What
tried
do
the
they
dollar
call this?
stuff and the
Kaniche?
$2 stuff. Let's go up
Kaniche.
to the $5 stuff.
Yo, let's have some of this Kaniche rum.
Hey.
Perfeccion.
Hey, Mario, best of Konichi.
Yeah. Double wood. It gets hard because like I got something going on in me. I'm definitely buzzed. I got a strong buzz on it. It's like it's hard to maintain any composure or say complicated words when you're. It changed my prescription. Totally changed my prescription on that rum.
That's the charm of these videos, though.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them.
Drunkenness.